Today, I'm going to show you how to waterproof your Christmas display so that it won't turn off during stormy or rainy conditions. My display used to always turn off when it would rain or snow would start melting, and I devised a plan, which is super simple, on how to weatherproof and waterproof some of your display elements so they stay running no matter the weather conditions. So join me for this super simple weatherproofing tutorial. So today's video is all about how to weatherproof your Christmas display to prevent it from turning off when it storms or it snows. In the past, my display has always turned off anytime it's rained or there's been a light snow. It's always turned off, but not this year. This year, I took aggressive steps to ensure that everything was waterproofed as possible to prevent water from getting into the outlets or the plugs, therefore tripping the circuit breaker. So if you want to keep your display lit through rain or snow, this is the video for you. All of the waterproofing methods that I use will be linked in the description below. Some items are seasonal, so their link might not work when you're watching this video, but just find something similar. I don't get any commission or money from the links I provide on my channel. Everything I do is simply to the benefit of the viewer. So if you find it for a better price or a different product that's similar, go ahead and buy it. But if you want to know what I'm using, just hit more below and you'll see all the links to everything I use. So first things first, I am using these Christmas lights. I always have hundreds of these lights that I get from Lowe's or Home Depot. If you're using professional grade lighting, that's good for you, but I always buy the ones from the big box retail stores and they work fine for me. But one thing that you have to remember is that the female end needs to be protected. And I'm using these outlet protectors. These are meant to be used so that children and infants do not put anything inside of the outlet. And I use them at the end of any unused female connector, right over here. You need to cover it like this, push it in, it creates a seal. Now, I have over 30,000 lights in my display, and every single female end has a connector on it. And trust me, the difference will be amazing because this helps so much. It's not entirely rainproof because rain could still get in there through moisture or whatnot, but it helps so much. So as you're wrapping your trees, putting up your display, have a pocket full of these outlet connectors, which I like to call baby proof connectors, and just put one on there, keep it in your pocket, and you're good to go. So that's step one. The next step that is super important is ensuring your extension cords, the receptacle, anywhere where things plug in is off the ground. If you leave it on the ground, moisture can pool inside and it trips the circuit breaker just like that. So right over here, it's a perfect example of how I keep my extension cords, the receptacle, the outlets, all of them above ground using light stakes. Now you can get these from Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever they sell Christmas items, and these are inexpensive and I love them. I have hundreds of these stakes. They make them in different shapes and sizes. So I have two designs over here. Now let me show you a little closer what's going on right here. So like I said, the entire point is to keep these receptacles, these connectors off the ground. Here we have a perfect example. This receptacle is not being used right now, so it's a perfect place for water to get inside it. So when you're setting up your display, if you have these, never have them facing upward. First of all, they should always be facing like this. And we'll get one of our light sticks right over here. And we'll put it into the ground. And just like this, we snap it in place like that. That way it keeps it off the ground by several inches and the receptacle facing downward. Here we have this plug right over here. We put it in there, and then we put this one into the ground, keeping it up. We have another one over here, and we have the baby protector plug on top of this since we couldn't get it to face downward. Just like that. Right over here, we have two connectors right over there, and another plug right over here holding it up. These aren't super sturdy, but it's been windy and rainy and they do not fall over. So these are just super awesome to keep them off the ground, preventing it from shorting or from water getting into the receptacles. So I have about 2,000 Christmas lights on the ground, but none of them are touching the ground because we're using these light stakes over here. and just like that, we keep the lights off of the ground. This way, it ensures that even if it's raining, your lights aren't going to short. But this is just one of several steps we need to do to ensure that everything stays on through rain and snow. So I space these out 1 foot, 2 feet, 2.5 feet, and we do the entire thing like this. It's a little time consuming, but it ensures that it keeps the lights off the ground. Now let me show you the next step. So here's another example. We have our extension cord that's plugging in right over here. So all we do is get one of our little light stakes. And what I love about these, let me show you, is that you can bend them like that and it locks into place, or they can stay up like this. But these come like that. So you put it into the ground, and then just like that, you put your extension cord in. And all it does is it keeps it off the ground by a few inches. That's it. And then the water drains off. We want these to be facing down like that. Otherwise, water is going to get in here. And when you do it like that, bam, you kept it off the ground a few inches. It's turned down. We're good to go. So right over here, I have this 3-long little connector right over here. I don't really like using these because I've had so many issues in the past with these, but just a simple workaround. I got some bricks right over here, and all we did was set it like that, because otherwise water loves to get into here. So we're facing it down, plugging everything in, and keeping it down like this so that the water just rains down. But like I said, I prefer the splitters, the 3-way and 4-way splitters. But if you have this, you just want it to be raised above the ground, just like that. And look at this. Here we have 2 extension cords that are connecting. Again, we're just using these light stakes, just like that, in order to keep it up. Yes, it's still going to get wet, but it keeps the connection off the ground. So if water does get in here, it can easily drain out and not trip your circuit.
Be sure to check out my 3 children's books, Oliver and the Lost Flame, Little Olive and the Wally Bat, and my newest book, The Ghost Who Dreamed of Flying, now available on Amazon.